Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and we're starting off the new season and the new month with a new series. So, if you've been around my channel for any amount of time, you will remember the Throwback Thursday series, where I take a tournament list from a much older tournament, and I bring it into the modern day. I look at what was in the list before, how the different cards worked before the various balance changes hit it, and then I try to recreate the deck to the best of my abilities, keeping the theme of the deck alive and the spirit of the deck alive, and then play it in the current day and see just how well it performs, and in the process talk a little bit about the history of this deck. So, with that in mind, I'm going to be starting a new series called Future Fridays, where I'm going to be taking a look at upcoming tournament decks that are going to be performing very, very well in the future, and I'm going to be playing them in the current game, and making the necessary changes to be able to play the deck now, while keeping the spirit of the deck alive, and seeing how well they perform now, what we were missing now. If these decks were always broken, or if these decks only became broken in the future because of specific card changes or cards being released. So, with that, let's roll the intro and get into the deck.
Birdo Burrito, back-to-back champion. Is there anything that can stop this player?
Birdo is in the final four.
It's going to be Master versus Apprentice into the finals for the title of KARDS 2022 World Champion. Birdo Burrito wins this one. It was never in doubt.
3-0ing J-King in the finals. Who has become the master?
Alrighty, so for the inaugural episode of Future Fridays, I think there is no other deck that I could possibly do than this deck. This deck, it is difficult to overstate how strong this deck is. This is the deck that Spooz is going to use to sweep the 2024 World Championship. This deck I used for, it's in the title, 127 game win streak. This deck is just incredible. Now, the first thing that might stand out to you is 26 cards in the deck out of 40. This is because there is 14 cards that have not been released yet that are going to be very, very crucial for this deck and the way this deck is going to work. So, we will add cards to accomplish similar things to try to replace the deck and make the deck playable now, but for now, we'll just start going through the deck list. So, starting off, you have a Delaying Tactics. This is just one of the best cards in the game. His Majesty's Chosen, of course, British elites are the best in the game. And you're really looking to get a second Oxford, because Oxford is one of the key cards of this deck. It's one of the win cons of this deck. Of course, Ultra, ATS, these are just auto-includes in every Brit deck. Coldstream Guides for the naval support. You're only running 2 because, you're running Oxford, you're running the card that gets Oxford. So, you don't need to double down too heavy on the naval supports. East Surreys, these are just, a buff fodder, Air Landing Brigade, Seaforth Highlanders, of course. And then, attacking the colonies, you wanted a little bit of healing in there. Italy ally, 2 years in the future, Italy ally is still going to be the best control ally. Let's all be real. You don't even need Mare Nostrum. That's one of those amazing things where, looking back on it now we think Mare Nostrum is the reason Italy ally control is so good. It's not. You don't even need Mare Nostrum. It's not going to be nerfed. It's not going to be removed from the game. Mare Nostrum is just not necessary. It's just not what makes Italy ally good. It's the 7th Alpinis, it's the Decimas, and it's attacking the colonies. So, you might see another couple other cards you're not used to seeing. The Churchill Mark IV. I don't know what they were thinking when they buffed this from a 2-6 to a 2-7. This card is absolutely insane. Heavy Armor 1 on a standard 2-7 guard that can attack and easily become a 7-7, a 9-9 in Britain. Of course, Sunderland. This card is just insane. We have a Tempest in there. This is going to hold back those big bomber Soviet decks that are running all around. And then Rule Britannia is the alternate win condition. Now, something else that might stand out to you right now about this deck is where is the card draw? If we look, you have ATS, and ATS is the most powerful draw engine in the game, but, it's ATS. Ultra draws 1 card, and of course, you do have Sunderland, but these cards are not enough draw. You might be thinking, well, where is the other draw? Now, the reason that this deck doesn't run any convoys and lend-leases is because, I mean, Britain is just going to... The card draw that Britain is going to be getting in the winter 2023 and the spring 2024 expansions, it just blows Lend-Lease and Convoy out of the water. Like, those cards are essentially just unplayable now because there's just so many better draw options in Britain. Now, these are going to be the first cards that we add into the deck because, of course, those future draw cards have not been released yet. This is the problem of making a Futures Fridays video, is these cards just haven't been released. So we'll throw in a couple of Lend-Leases, a couple of Convoys, and then we will start looking for the other cards to replace. So, normally what I like to do when I'm looking for what cards to replace is I like to look at the elites, because these are usually very powerful cards, and you usually want to get all the elites in, and then when you start looking for what else you want to be putting in. So, looking through what the elites are going to be put in, I mean, we're not putting in Monty. This is another one of those future innovations. People realize Monty is just not that good. Like, it's a fine card, it replaces itself, but when you're running a 40 card deck, you want all 40 cards to be really, really powerful and have a very big impact on the value of the game, and Monty just has almost no value. It's essentially just 1 credit, draw a card. That's not good. It just replaces itself. So, Monty has just fallen out of favor. HMS, I mean, you'd think HMS works really well with Rule Britannia, but unfortunately HMS now costs 7 credits, and I just don't think 7 credits is really worth it for 2 1-2 Blitz Bombers. So, we're just going to move right past that. We will throw in a Shelling. I mean, with the new cards in Britain, Shelling's a little antiquated, but I think it gets the job done. I mean, Firefly... Now, Firefly, the reason I'm putting in Firefly is it accomplishes similar things as cards that are currently missing from the deck, because the T-34 Soviet deck is going to be one of the most dominant decks on ladder, so of course there's going to be a lot of anti-tank cards packed into this deck. Now, Firefly just is not good enough as an anti-tank card at the time of this deck being made, so that's why Firefly's not being run in the deck. However, to keep the same theme of anti-tank, we're going to put in a Firefly, and I'm going to put in an air power. So, let's go back looking at elites. And, I mean, we have a decent number of bombers in this deck. We have the Sunderland. So, I could put in a Manchester. I'm going to lean against putting in the Manchester. The Bowfighter, this is another one of those cards that have been slept on quite a lot. I mean, dealing 3 damage to any card that attacks this, damage being dealt first, any card. And, of course, yeah, that's just very powerful. But that is it for the elites that we would be putting in. So then let's take a look at the ally cards. So let's take a look at the Italian cards, because we are missing a couple of Italian slots in this deck. And so, with the Italian cards, as I mentioned, Mare Nostrum, just not that good. I'm going to put in 2 L640s, because this is just going to give us another chance at using some of these deployment effects. So, like the Firefly, like the Detrimas. 2 L640 is just a pretty standard combination that you throw in. This is actually like a tech card that some people do like to run the L640 version of this deck, so I figure I'll give those players a shout out by putting 2 into this deck. And then, scrolling down here, of course, Pact of Steel is tempting, and honestly I think I will take out a Lend-Lease for a Pact of Steel. It's just 4 credits, so it's 3 credits cheaper to do the exact same thing. And with the decent amount of healing in this deck, like the 7th Alpini, a Spirit of Rome, it's a lot. It's 5 credits for getting these huge stat buffs. I mean, like, yeah, it's 5 credits. So compared to the cards Britain will have in 2024, especially the Winter 2024 cards, 5 credits for +10, +10, +12, +12, that's a lot. That's very expensive for that kind of buff. So, but there's just really nothing in the game. The game right now is so slow, and it's just so well balanced, and Britain is just so weak that you really do have to take large stretches of the imagination to find replacements for some of these cards. And I think that's going to be it for the Italian cards. We still have 3 left, so let's take a look at the British cards. And just scrolling down here a bit, I'm a huge fan of the Argyllshire. So, a bit of history that's going to be happening is Argyllshire will actually be nerfed into the ground. There is going to be a massive Argyllshire deck, and for 3 consecutive months, Argyllshire will be the best deck. It'll be the only deck that has a positive win rate on ladder. Like, this deck will be pulling 90% win rate easily. And after 3 months, the 1939, they finally listened to us. They nerfed Argyllshire into the ground. However, in the current date, April 2023, Argyllshire has not been nerfed yet. So we're going to put in 2 copies. I mean, it's just not really fair to run 3 copies in the current day, because people just haven't figured out how strong the card is yet. So I'm only going to put in 2 copies. And of course, we're going to need the doubting system. I mean, doubting system, the reason it's not quite run is it's been nerfed again because it's actually so strong with the powerful orders that they come in. The big order Japan decks with their sneak attacks, with their Empire of the Suns, to the Last Man Bonsai. Doubting system really has a resurgence in about middle 2024. So, yeah, we're going to put in a doubting because, again, it's an unnerfed version of the card, and that has brought us to 40 cards. So, with that being said, that is the deck, and I think I've tried to maintain the spirit of the deck, and we'll take it into ranked. This is the beginning of the season. I'm still at rank 6, so we'll see just how quickly this deck will get us to Field Marshal. And I'm expecting it to be very fast, so let's just get into the games. Alright, so we are getting into the first game, and I'll move my camera back over here so we can see our opponent, Hearts, Soviets. Soviets is usually a pretty free matchup for this deck. Any kind of Soviets, really, because Britain just has all the anti-Soviet cards. It has the best anti-tank cards in the game, so it beats T-34. I mean, Churchill is just a very tempting card to keep in the mulligan, but I think we'll keep the attack in the colonies. This card's busted. This is a decent curve. Now, if this was the old version of the deck, we would be able to get this Tempest out on turn 2. However, as is true with most things, the cards just don't exist in the game right now, unfortunately. So, we have the choice between Convoy and the Coldstream Guards. I think I'm going to go for the Coldstream Guards. He's playing Chaika. Man, I will miss Chaika. It's such a fun card. Unfortunately, yeah, we all know. Chaika gets rotated. It's just too strong against these British air decks. So, Chaika gets rotated and never gets brought back. I mean, it just is what it is. So, we're going to do Air Landing Brigade. Doesn't accomplish a lot. We can just naval support that. I think we're going to go for the Convoy, though. Picking up the Surrey, picking up the Ultra. Those are both good cards to see. He's going to sack in the Chaika. And we're just going to attack in the colonies this. And we're even going to push up the Coldstream Guards, because we're going to be setting up this little combo that I think a lot of people just haven't realized by this point in the game, is you can Air Landing Brigade your own units to then get it Blitz. So, look at this. We'll Air Landing Brigade our own unit, push up Air Landing Brigade, Naval Supply Run, and now it's a 5-5. We essentially just played a 5-5 Blitz Infantry for 6 credits. Like, I mean, yeah, we are currently all sleeping on this card. And here's the Spirit of Rome. This card's going to be absolutely busted. Now, we could just get out the Tempest. We could even get out the Sunderland. There's not really an answer to this. The issue with playing the Sunderland right now is we do have Pact of Steel in hand, so we don't really need the card draw, and looking at the curve of our current hand, it is going to be getting difficult to get out enough cards in our hand to be avoiding overdrawing each turn. Dechima draw is very good. It makes him overdraw. Now, the question is, do we want to play that on just a 4-5 yak? And I think the answer is probably not. Could just go for Surrey and Churchill. I mean, this is just going to be protecting the Sunderland to the best of our abilities. And yeah, hopefully the Sunderland will draw us into enough cards to remove first rifles. I mean, this is not a deck that is prepared to fight first rifles. I mean, third rifle's fine. Like, third rifles is going to be quite a strong counter to this deck. However, it's not that popular in Soviet decks. But first rifles, that's just not a card that you're built to play around with this deck. So the Mare Nostrum coming out on the yak means that the Spirit of Rome has been essentially deactivated. However, that's mostly okay. We will take out the yak, stop the healing a bit, and so we are going to start overdrawing, but that's pretty much fine. Engineers Battalion, 845th, these are all just going to make the Spirit of Rome a bit of a dead card. However, he has made the fatal mistake of filling up his own support line. Here is the Argyllshire. So, unfortunately, we are running out of room to play cards in our support line. So, we can just take out the first rifles. We'll get the Argyllshire down. We'll hold up the Ultra, and we'll just take a hit. So, the strength of the Argyllshire is just its sheer raw power and stats. Like, this is a 1-6, but if I play these two guard units in my hand, it becomes a 3-8. That is a 3-cost 3-8. That is insane. That is 2 health more than the Volksgrenadier in Germany. So, Parade hits the Naval Brigade, that's fine, and we got the Oxford. We lose the Coldstream Guards, unfortunately, but we pick up another Argyllshire, and we pick up the Oxford. Now, there is going to be some questions about how to best play this. Because I do need to get rid of the Dechima to make room for additional guides. Oh, should have attacked with the bomber first. That was my bad. My bad. I'll take out the 845th. It's going to Dechima, which is going to finally allow him to take out the Sunderland, if he wants. Going to Mare Nostrum, and chooses to leave the Sunderland up, and instead take out the Oxford. Pretty big mistake by him. And now he's going to start pushing up the Bryansk. Alright, we're going to start getting down some more guards. And with one guy down, I think we can finally play Convoy. Well, now we'll get 2 guards down. We'll get the ATS off, and let's see. Like, look at this. Argyllshire, 3 credits for a 4-9. Absolute insanity. So he's going to be able to take out one of the Surreys, but that's perfectly fine because we're just making more room. Plays another Dechima. Alright, so we got the L640. We can get the Surrey back to hand, so we can play it out and buff the second Argyllshire. That's a pretty cool combo we can do right now. We can also get down the Bowfighter, which is going to be working pretty well against his current board. We of course need to take out the Dechima. And we will take out the Bryansk. And look at this, Bowfighter is just unkillable on the board right now. It's just that powerful. Ooh, Monsantier, but however, Monsantier gives me back a Churchill and 2 commandos. That is the punish. Monsantier was not good when it came out, it's not good now, and in 2 years, it's still not going to be good. However, it does let him take one of the commandos. It's a little annoying. Just take out these guys. Hit there. And then we can replay the Argyllshire with the Churchill, and bam. That is why some people like to play L640 in this deck. So we've finally taken out the Naval Brigade. Night Witches. It is still sad to see Night Witches in its old form. Air power, we can finally take out that armored train that has been giving us so many issues. And alrighty, we are slowly running him out of cards. 71 health. Alright, third Marin Austin. It's perfectly fine. Because look at that, we have another Churchill. And honestly, I think I can just play the Churchill here. Or sorry, I can just play the Tempest here. Go for 2 hits on the light infantry. It's at 81 health, but that's perfectly fine. So this Tempest is stopping the Night Witches from attacking. A 45th gets pushed up. Partisans into the Commandos. That's a pretty good combo, pretty good combo. His Majesty's chosen. This is a quite strong one. What do we get? We get a 2nd Oxford. And, I mean, I told you at the beginning of the video, this is why people run this card in the deck. Get a 2nd Oxford. Get another 7/7 Churchill. So he's nearing the points, the health cap, and he's just hit it now. He's at the health cap. ISU comes down. He's out of his board clear. He's out of his healing. We've got him exactly where we want him. So first, well, to save the Firefly, we are just going to play the Shelling. Alright. Sickle. Draw last. Another Chaika. Polycarpov, this guy's looking like he's just playing a Blood Red Sky deck right now. And now for the big whammy, Pact of Steel. Takes out his Spy Ring. Takes out his T60. And we can... Well, realistically, we can just see what's in the rest of our deck. See what we have to work with, if you will. Got another Surrey, the Dowden, and another Churchill. And with that, this is just all of the pieces necessary to close out this game. And, okay, we're back. I appear to have lost the recording seems to have stopped working, so I think I lost the footage of the end of that game. However, yeah, that is pretty unfortunate, because that was where I pulled off the Rule Britannia combo on the Ulster Rifles on the Churchill and just was able to close out the game. I mean, 99, it doesn't matter if you hit health cap, this deck is just too powerful. So, we got a solid 1-0 start. Let's see about game 2. It's another Soviet deck. And right away, we're going to be keeping... We'll just full keep this hand. This is a very powerful hand. We got the Argyllshire engine. We got the ATS to keep the engine going. And, of course, the Coldstream Guards. 7th Alpini is going to be nice to double buff Argyllshire. It is a token stack. That is not something you see very often. What else does he have going? Tomahawk. 554th. Okay. This guy's making moves. We'll just start with the Argyllshire. And here come a lot of blitzed 2/2s. What else does he have going on? Unity is strength, goes face. And East Surrey Regiment. Let's take one of these guys out. That was a bit of a fatal mistake from him, to go face instead of taking out this Argyllshire. Trades off the light infantry, frontal assault, double frontal assault, got a hand refill on these little tokens. These ones don't have blitz though. And let's take out the buffed 456th. And now we just brace for impact against these wave of tokens. Okay, Unity is strength, draw 3. 2 credits, draw 3 then. This is getting closer to sort of the more meta draw cards. Now, honestly, I kind of want to just get another Argyllshire down. Well, so if I'm going for another Argyllshire, I guess I want to save the naval supply run. I'm going to have better naval supply run options, so let's just take out the light infantry in the front line, get a second Argyllshire on the board, and these Argyllshires are just going to be absolutely stomping light infantry. I mean, there's really just no counterplay. Alliance, take out the Coldstream Guards, not bad, not bad. However, 7th Alpini, take out one of these 4/4s, and we're looking pretty good. Another deep operation. Likely means he's going for another light. Unity is strength, I'm going to assume. Or he just wants more 2/2s to the front line. I have to say. Motors. Unity is strength, making a 9/9. Not bad at all. So we have a few different options. I think going for the C4th hit here is going to be the best one. I could also naval support the Argyllshire hit. That's not nearly as fun. I'm going to go for the C4th. We're going to attack this. And I think I'm just going to hold up the Ultra. This naval support, you're still way too powerful to use this naval support. Sorry, it's too powerful of a card to use it now. See, Ultra blocks the conscripts. This is where another one of these back-breaking cards that you want to make sure you stop. Alright. We lost to Ura, but that is to be expected. I mean, Ura and Tomahawk both getting rotated. I mean, they're just too powerful to exist in the game right now, so that's a fine loss. 1-1. So let's play a third game, see how this one goes. Alright, a rank 5, pretty good, on US. So gonna keep Surrey. Bowfighters, it's very tempting to keep Bowfighter. This card is just very powerful. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna keep it. Going second. I want to make sure I hit this card. And we have the Argyllshires. We have the East Surrey. Alright. Starting with the 30 seconds. We have a solid curve going, starting on turn 3. And there's not a whole lot he can do to push his advantage in the meantime. Alright, start with the Argyllshire. And, yeah, let the farming commence. My 1 card currently trades with his 3 cards. Look at how powerful. Is there any card in the game that, in this situation, could trade 3 for 1? I don't think so. Just absolutely insanity. Okay, goes for a full board. And we still don't need to guard up. Just gonna go for another Argyllshire. And yeah, I mean, this guy's playing as if he knows that every single AoE in this game is gonna be nerfed in early 2024. I mean, yeah, just playing all your units without regard is essentially how the game is gonna work soon. And with that, he sees the power of the Argyllshires. He sees it, and he does not like it. He is afraid. And, I mean, yeah, that is the strength of the deck. 2 and 1. I mean, even missing so many key cards, even in a meta with so many broken cards like Tomahawk and Deep Operations, this deck is still able to go positive 2-1. And, I mean, yeah, what else is there to say other than the strength of this deck? So, with that, I'm going to end the video. Thank you very much to Drag Tom for the idea of starting a Futures Fridays series, and I'll catch you guys next Friday for the next installment. Thank you very much for watching.